فاصبر صبرا جميلا.
So we say that Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah ta'ala, he said that the ulama have agreed unanimously that both ways are permissible. Hands first or knees first. They then differ on which is best. They then do what? They differ on what's best. So before we go any further, Shaykh, hadith sahih, not sahih, what Shaykh al-Albani said in the 20th century, what this alim and that alim said, Ibn Qayyim, his long argument on the issue. Before we go any further, we understand is that this is a major Islamic source, Shaykh Islam ibn Taymiyyah. He's telling you that all of the fuqaha agree that both are permissible. So when someone comes and say you can't do it, it's haram, it's not upon the sunnah, you already know that that person called it as what? Al-Muhim, it's something up. Even if Ibn Taymiyyah isn't right. If there were a few scholars who did differ on the issue, but Shaykh Hassan is not going to say that unless it's a great, large, vast amount of ulama who say that. That they're both what? Both of them are permissible. Everybody clear on this? He then says they differ on what is best. So therefore, we have three opinions of the ulama. The first opinion is the opinion of the majority of the ulama, alaykum salam, who say that the Muslim should put his knees first. The jumhur, most of the fuqaha of the past up to this day, they said the knees should go first. Then we have another opinion of a small group of ulama, respected ulama, who say that the hands must go first. Or if not must, they'll say preferable. Let's say that. We say what? Preferable. Hands, not the knees first. And the third group of ulama, such as Imam Malik ibn Anas rahimahullah, he said that they are both equal. And it depends. Do this one time and do that another time. Everybody clear on this? This is a summary of the issue. Now, before we get into the proofs and evidences, we have to understand the principle that we always talk about here in the dojo. And that's what? Understand, having the dalil is one step. The dalil being sahih, being valid and authentic is the next step. The third step is what? The proper fahm. Let's take an example. Hadith says don't pray like a camel. How does a camel pray? That's the first one. Does a camel have hands? Where is the kayf? If he has to have hands, the word yad in the Arabic language, he has a limb. A hoof, al-muhim, is a what? That's a yad. In the Arabic language, this on my clock is called what? A yad. Is a what? It's a yad. So therefore the camel has yadain. But what is the yadain of the camel? His knees, his hooves? It's the first question. Front or back? And secondly, and most importantly, is that hadith, is it sahih? We're not going to get into that, but the question is, how does a camel pray? Is what's meant by that hadith, don't put your hands first or your knees first, or do not pray in the manner of a camel that plops down and falls down suddenly, violently. These are all vital, crucial questions that must be asked and must be answered before you can get into what's correct and what's incorrect. Everybody clear on this? Everybody clear on this? So therefore, we say that the strongest opinion, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best, is that those hadith are not sahih from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They're not sahih. And that it is permissible for a person to go down on his knees or on his hands. However, some ulama say that it is best to put the knees first. And the reason behind that is what? They say, not only is that what many of the companions did, such as Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu. So next time you get into a masjid and someone says, La ya akhi, you can't do that. Would you tell them Umar did? Umar ibn al-Khattab. These ulama, they say what? They say that when you offer the prayer is in a fluid motion. The prayer is cohesive, it's succinct. One part is not wild and far from the other part. Say Allahu Akbar. Sami Allahu liman hamida. You come up. Allahumma rabbana lakal hamd. Whether you do this or whether you do that, al-muhim. You didn't do what? You go down to sujood. What is closer to the ground? My knees or my hands? What's closer to the ground? Common sense, the knees are closer. So they say that the knee going first is easier upon the body, and it makes more sense and is more cohesive with the rest of the prayer. And they also say the exact opposite. When you come out of Jinsa, do you come up like this? Or do you come up like this? Right or wrong? Whether you agree or not, using some logic. And we say that from fiqh is having logic. So therefore they say that the knees going down first is a means of ease upon the body, and the salat being in one solid fluid motion instead of like this and like that. Everybody clear on this? Okay, inshaAllah. The next question is, how does a camel pray? Okay, somebody can go like this, somebody like that. You ever seen a camel do that? Or can you imagine a camel plopping down like that? Or we have the issue in which a person says, Allahu Akbar. Nothing about it is fast, violent, or chaotic. But the first example, you say what? That's similar to a what? Without a doubt. Plopping down on the knees, on your knees. Hey then, inshallah. So a camel, his two hooves are already on the ground. They're what? Already on the ground. So how can that be the understanding of the hadith and the feet of the camel is already on the way? But the knees come next, and how do the knees go down? Bop. So that's what some of the ulama say. That's what's meant by the hadith if it was sahih. Everybody clear on that? Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah, he says that the hadith that states وَالْيَدْ, he says وَالْيَضَعْ يَدَيْهِ قَبْلَ رُكْبَتَيْهِ, this is maqloob. We want to go into all the technical issues. Al-Muhim, it's khilaf among the ulama. La bas. Most of the people of hadith of the past, I said people of hadith, Imam Ahmed and others, most of them, the Sahaba, rather some of the ulama say that there's not one companion who put his hands down first. But this is a serious issue now. I declare a man to be a deviant. You're a deviant. You know what that word means? That word means that Allah is angry with you. And if you die, it's a big possibility you go into the fire. I said it about you in an issue in which none of the Sahaba did. And all the Sahaba, they're doing what he did. Billah alayk, does it make any sense? Logically, does it make any sense? Makes no sense. Regardless of right or wrong, I'm treading uphill. Extremely uphill. So it's very important to understand this fiqh, ya ikhwan. Al-Muhim, it's khilaf among the ulama. Do what you want, they're both permissible. La bas. Knees, hands first. It is unnecessary, and I quote, to fight and to disrespect people over masail fiqhiyya. We do not do that. We said this here in this mention before, and we're not about that. We're not about fighting and beating up Muslims on fiqh issues. On fiqh issues. It's khilaf on ulama, ya ikhwan. Do what you feel is best. Yakfi. Learn the sunnah, teach the sunnah. That's more than sufficient. Everybody clear on this? So that's the summary of the issue. It's a very, very long issue. Al-Muhim, me personally, when I offer the salah, in most cases I go on my knees first. Sometimes I use my hands first, depending on how I feel. I believe that they're both permissible. Wallahu a'lam.